we're back now, and we're back from the quick commercial break that we had to do. So now like I said, like I told you, the backlot burnt down.
Yeah.
So they had to refurbish everything and stuff like that. But
it's unfortunate that so much is lost. I mean, just from one simple fire.
Yeah.
Do you remember Backdraft? Is Backdraft still there?
No, it's not. I think the Transformers ride took Backdraft.
No!
But, I mean, Backdraft was like...
You stare at fire. What's wrong with that?
It was cool. Like, I don't remember being in there.
I mean, Backdraft wasn't that big of a blockbuster hit, was it, to make a ride out of it?
Well, Kurt Russell was in it.
I mean, yeah.
But that's it. You know what? I didn't even watch the movie. Have you seen Backdraft?
I actually did watch Backdraft.
Is it good?
It wasn't that... Like, it's not groundbreaking in a way to where it deserves a ride. That's what I was kind of getting
You know what? Firefighter movies don't get a good rep.
Because there are not a lot of them.
Yeah.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry, Backdraft. That's all of them. That's every fireman.
Both. Boom. No, I remember there was this one where, like, some guy from the dead would come into radio calls for a fireman.
What?
I forget what it was.
Episode of Goosebumps?
There was that 9/11 one with Nicolas Cage. Ladder 49 or something like that. Yeah, because remember they made a Flight 47 or for the 9/11 for the one that crashed in Philly.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wait.
Yeah, that was the one because remember they decided not to crash in the World Trade Center.
Oh, you're right.
They diverted it.
Yeah,
oh no, that one was headed towards DC.
Yeah, they kind of changed it for the sake of
whatever. It was all. It's all conspiracy anyway. So let's go now to the old movie theaters because I remember a few movie theaters. Movie theaters back in the day would really specialize in good arcade games. They would after the movie, you would kind of like chill in the arcade zone. Mm-hmm. I kind of find myself. I remember playing. Actually, let's go to the mall arcades first.
Right.
Did you go to the Montclair Mall to play the arcades?
I did.
There,
I don't remember the name specifically.
Yeah, me neither. But I remember it was an arcade place.
I do recall, being in the scenario where mom would just go, "Hey, just go in here. Here's a certain amount of money.
Yeah,
and bye." And then and this is before cell phones.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's like this is when
you
parents
had to be
just
here.
Trusted you. Like you're just gonna be in this area. Don't fucking leave.
Yeah.
And then she'd just go do her shopping or whatever, and I'd be in there, maxing out on one game, losing all the fucking money way too soon. She'd give me $20. I spent 20 already on fucking the Jurassic Park shooting game.
I remember specifically playing Turtles in Time. Mm-hmm. The old the first Turtles arcade game where the whole building was burning. The whole building was burning, and then you had to save April.
Yeah, I remember that.
That one was nice.
Sunset Riders.
The arcade port. Yeah, I remember. You know what? I remember playing arcade port at this Cardenas over in Pomona.
What the?
So it was like a Mexican picture like a Mexican grocery store. Or Hispanic grocery store, Latino-based grocery store. Let's be PC here, right? and then Sunset Riders.
Yes,
like that game was tight to play in the arcade.
Dope.
I still have it to play now, so we can still get that out of the way. But the arcade port for the NES is really lacking, man. It's good to play, but it's like you lose lives a lot, and it's hard to it's hard to progress.
Everything is just a little bit. It's a bit slower. That's all I can feel. But like playing it in the arcade, I felt like I could handle that shit and everything was working.
What was some of your favorite arcade games? Like if you had to play them in the arcade, because I do like Turtles in Time for me. Die Hard Arcade was good for me. I remember playing that at a pizza place.
Die Hard Arcade for sure. I was a big House of the Dead fan.
Oh, yeah.
We got to House of the Dead 3 where they give you a big shotgun. And
the Uzis for 4.
The Uzis for 4, which was that was the worst one. Time Crisis, for sure. I think I've spent a lot of money on Time Crisis 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. Like, wasted so much time playing those. Like, I've beaten the game so many times, and I'll still pay to play the fucking game.
You know what's funny, too, is that Scandia, there's this theme park, I mean, this
R.I.P. Scandia.
Yeah, no, it's still there.
No, it's dead. It's on life support. Yeah, no one will pull the fucking plug.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still, I remember they actually had NBA Jam Tournament Edition. They had that for sale. They had it for sale for $400. The arcade cabinet.
If that's not a sign that the arcade cabinet, the arcade itself is dying, then...
Well, yeah, you gotta remember is that when the arcade business died out, when you had games that represented very close arcade ports.
Right.
After that, the reasoning for you to go to arcades is to play better games.
Right.
Nope. Now you have it at home.
Better or more innovative and engaging games. Like, let's think of LA machine guns, right?
Oh yeah, I love LA machine guns.
It's basically a vibrator that you play, but like you know, it was fun because you had an interactive tool to play the game.
Yeah.
So I mean, like with Wii, you can play Wii, but it's not gonna shoot and recoil.
Yeah, they have LA machine guns for the Wii, right?
Right. Yeah. But like, let's say playing Time Crisis, I love Time Crisis because the recoil on the gun was satisfying. Oh yeah,
the gun con would cock back.
It was fun.
Every time you shell off a round.
As time went on, as the arcade scene started to die, like all the peripherals for the game started to go down in quality too.
Yeah.
So they would use a gun that you'd see for Area 51.
Oh yeah, they would swap it. Yeah, they would swap the arcade boards inside, and they would just leave you with like Area 51 guns.
Right. So it was just getting, as the arcade scene started to dwindle,
those Area 51 games suck. Jeez,
it's just a bunch of green screen scenarios.
The video quality of like the animation of the guys like, get over here, come on,
God, jump in the van,
jump in the van,
get in right now.
That's like a kidnapping game now. What kind of game are you playing? Get in the van.
Take the candy. Like press X for candy.
Oh my gosh.
I do. Yeah, it seems like. Oh god, I hate it. Every Area 51 and Maximum Carnage or whatever the other one was.
Maximum Force.
Maximum Force. Yeah, and you would shoot a bad guy and they just explode in blood.
Yeah, the blood would explode, like all of it.
And a death skull would pop up where they died.
I remember. Do you remember going to Holiday Skate?
Holiday Skate.
Rialto.
Yes.
Dude, okay, yeah. Okay, so now we're going into the skating rink arcades. Now we're getting very desperate here.
Skating rinks in general are dying too.
Yes, they're all turning into trampoline zones.
Yeah.
So skating rinks back in the day, for people who don't know, was just a big skating rink. I mean, us millennials do know that skating rinks were very popular. Like I said, they were the meeting ground for teenagers back in the day. We would meet at the skating rink. If it was some dude's party, I would be there, and I know you'd be there.
Definitely.
But I remember Holiday Skate introduced me to Metal Slug.
Yeah,
because it had the Neo Geo cabinet there.
Sorry, for favorites, Metal Slug for sure.
Metal Slug I completely
was forgot about
awesome
Metal Slug.
Me.
It was a coin killer though. Like you.
Oh yeah, it was addictive though because you were just like, man, this game's so easy to play. Let's get this done. Let's finish it.
All right, let's just put our money together. What do we have? We have $50. Okay, we're not going to beat the game, but we can have some fun.
Yeah.
But I do recall like definitely getting enthralled and playing them, especially because they had 9 of the shits, man. Like I think the last arcade version of Metal Slug is Metal Slug 6.
Yeah,
I think it's 6. But
now I have the Metal Slug X in my for PlayStation.
Metal Slug.
We had the anthology. Remember we played the anthology? Yeah.
But
that was tight.
Oh, dude, yeah, definitely. Holiday Skate had Metal Slug, and I completely forgot I was at a skating rink. I didn't even put on skates or anything. I just kept playing Metal Slug.
Yeah, if you guys I know there's. I'm sorry to cut off the podcast early. Like I said, we had to take a quick break, but like I said, mention what arcade places that that you used to like. I know we have 19 listeners on, so that's perfect. The more listeners, the better. Shout out to all the 19 listeners. I don't have specifics on who you are in particular, but like I said, comment in my Instagram or comment on my Facebook what places that you guys remember playing. If you guys remember Holiday Skate, you guys probably remember that arcade cabinet. But anyone outside of California, please be sure to let me know what arcade places that you like. That way I could look them up.
Yeah.
I'll do my homework on them and see how cool they were. But like I said, local theme parks. Castle Park is still this place, but
it's done.
It's mini golf, but centralized inside the castle is this 2-story arcade place.
Yes.
It had the X-Men arcade game. I remember it having a bunch of the House of the Dead games. It had all the fighting games. I remember it had Street Fighter 2 and Tekken.
It had San Francisco Rush 2049.
That was good, man.
Which was ridiculous. I didn't realize how fun that was until I played it there.
That game is nuts.
I was like, wait, there's shortcuts? Wait, there's explosions? What game is this?
I don't remember. I remember playing Hydro Thunder over in Dave & Buster's. Hydro Thunder is a good game too.
And it's one of those things you sleep on until you actually play, and you're like, holy shit, this game is very integrative.
Did you like the Harley Davidson arcade game?
Fuck no.
Yeah, you didn't?
No, I wouldn't play it because I was just like,
it's a big thing. It's heavy. It's really heavy.
It's a real Harley Davidson.
Yeah, I like playing like the actual like crotch rocket ones, like not the big hogs. But there was this one arcade place before it became Boomers. There was this Bullwinkles. Bullwinkles. Like, why would you get the licensing for freaking Bullwinkle and his crowd of people? Like, how? like, okay, hey, well, I only have $1,000. What am I going to get? Well, you get licensing to
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
To Rocky and Bullwinkle.
But you got to take Rocky out.
Or you could have Yogi Bear. No one else. Bullwinkle or Yogi Bear. You're going to call it Yogis. I was like, all right, give me fucking Bullwinkles. So here is a rehash of the 60s cartoon.
Modernized
for the late 80s, mid 90s.
Right.
And it's
as a theme park. As a local theme park.
The only place that you have now, the only thing you have now is like the old cartoons to go back on.
Right. But nobody knew, like...
Only the parents knew. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is Boris and that other Russian chick. Yeah.
But it was really Rocky and Bullwinkle themed.
They had the Rampage arcade there.
Yeah.
They had, and that was one of the first times I experienced go-karts.
Yes.
Dude, go-karts.
Absolutely. I mean, okay, Bullwinkle's wasn't a bad place, man. It really wasn't. It was affordable. It was fun.
Yeah.
I guess it just might have been out of the age range of the demographic that they wanted to sell to.
That's what it was.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't know who the fuck. I mean, I knew about Rocky and Bullwinkle because I watched it with like older. Like,
I watched it early in the morning.
Right.
I had to watch it early in the morning.
It was like the first thing you saw, and it was bad, honestly. Yeah, but they used all the characters. I remember that.
They had little statues of them. Yeah, when you ordered. Like, when you ordered, you would see Rocky and Bullwinkle. It's creepy. And that's all they were because that's all they would have,
right?
Because they would have there's no animatronics like in Chuck E. Cheese.
No,
it was really. I like the arcades. That's when they had the Rampage arcade, which I really liked.
And then that one had Sunset Riders too. I remember that for sure. Their arcade was phenomenal. I don't know. It's like the arcade culture just died so hard, and it's really disappointing. Like, if I can move on to Pharaoh's Lost Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
Pharaoh's Lost Kingdom was
They had a one-story arcade, but it was still a lot of games.
It was a lot of games.
That's when you saw tokens.
Right. Before we started swiping cards to play games.
To get juiced out of more money.
Because there's a different dynamic to, I mean, even in real life. Yeah. There's something different about spending money on a card in comparison to actually physically spending your money. Yeah, because you can visually... And subconsciously notice that you're losing. Yep. Like it's coming out of your possession.
Yep.
So when you had a shitload of coins and you're putting them in the machine, I have 20 coins left and I got to make this count.
Yep.
But if you have like a card, you don't really keep in your head how much you have as far as credits
exactly.
concerned. You swipe for 5 credits on a game.
Yeah, and then you have like 300 credits and you're like, oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
2 hours later, like an hour and a half later, you're all like, man, I was just only playing 2 games. I went halfway through House of the Dead. I think I'm all right.
So, before in the coin era, I do recall that, Pharaoh's Lost Kingdom was massive. Their arcade was huge. It was one story, but it was huge, and they had more...
they had a bigger go-kart track.
And they had larger cabinets. Like, if there's...
4-player cabinets. They had the Simpsons game there.
Yeah. Like almost every cabinet you could sit in some capacity.
I didn't like how some arcade cabinets would limit. Like, I remember seeing a Simpsons cabinet. Mm-hmm. The Simpsons cabinet originally, you have 4 players. You have Marge, Homer, Bart, and Lisa.
Right.
If the board of that game was transported to another cabinet, you're only limited to probably 2 players. Mm-hmm. That to me, I never liked that. That was that's one thing I noticed as older is just like, man, they kind of really. You get gypped because what if your 2 other homies you're playing with
wanted to play this game?
Yeah, and you would have had more bigger of a chance to beat it because the amount of like on-screen foes don't change because you're only limited to a certain amount of people per the screen on an arcade cabinet.
Right. So you're getting hit with 4 people's worth of enemies.
Exactly.
And it's just you and your friend, or just you by yourself. And I do feel like, I mean, as arcade culture started to die, the money wasn't coming in, so what do you expect them to do? They started,
raising
cutting
the prices.
back. Yeah, raising the prices and cutting back on cabinets.
Yeah.
But I definitely recall Pharaoh's being very they're focused on the entire park itself, but they made the arcade a very big pull, and they made their laser tag arena
yes. Their laser tag was on the second story.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I gotta tell you this, is that the second story is not there. Like, they don't have laser tag there anymore.
They erased the second story?
It's like a dance club there.
No!
Hey, man, it's more profitable to have skanks in here. Forget the laser tag.
It's all about tits.
Laser tag, to me, was very impressive. Like, they have this laser tag place in Upland, but, I mean, it's called Laser World, but it's kind of... if me and you go, like, we're 27 years old, me and you go to a laser tag place, just me and you and a bunch of kids.
Just holding the kid hostage.
That's when a bunch of parents will come in and like, hey, I just want to play laser tag. I'm not going to, there's no shenanigans going on here, lady.
Get away from my son.
Stop laser tagging him. Stop tagging him with the laser.
That's what he gets for being weaker than everyone else.
We're going to have the high scores.
Yeah, they're going to be mad at us.
They'll probably, I think that's what it is.
But I do feel like at Pharaoh's, man, it was a larger arena. I do remember, I've been there, because I've been there, there was a point where Pharaoh's used to have club nights.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would turn it into a big club. And I wouldn't even go to the club. I would just go to laser tag and play the games in the arcade. I'm not lame. I'm actually pretty awesome. It's just that there's something so engaging about playing laser tag, especially when you have a bunch of people your age there.
Yeah, a bunch of your homies that you'd only see in high school.
Exactly.
Like, let me see them in the laser tag area. Let me see where they come from.
Let's challenge our manhood for real.
Yeah.
But anyway, definitely there were a lot of these local theme parks, and they had amazing arcades. Arcades so fun and engaging to play in, that you almost didn't want to be a part of the culture outside of the arcade.
Yes, exactly.
I don't feel like getting on the rides. Actually, I'm cool with playing these games, but that was when arcade cabinets were more creative, and they put a little more money into their cabinets.
Yeah.
Nowadays, arcade culture is dead, and it's not going to get any better. And like you said, because consoles today annihilate whatever's going to come out in the arcades, unless it's virtual reality.
Yeah.
The next step, honestly, I believe, is virtual reality games. That's the only way that an arcade could come back.
But virtual reality is still, like, it needs to be a little more convenient. There's no need for bulky headsets. We need to have
big ass Oculus. That's
exactly. We need to have technology to where it's easy for anyone at any age to get it. Like, wearing a big Oculus as a little kid isn't going to work. It's going to fling around. You're only going to have
neck problems.
You need a universal size, and this universal size needs to adjust to accommodate, the little kid, the adult, and the elders as well.
But in my opinion, I feel like arcade culture will remain dead until they take that step forward into virtual reality. There's no way that you can keep someone's attention long enough. No one gives a fuck anymore. If you go to an arcade, they've pulled all their cabinets out. They're barren. Because I went to Scandia recently for my girl's little sister's birthday. It was painful.
Like, how many arcades do they have there?
Dog, it was like less than 20.
And they saw that shooting gallery there?
Yeah, they do.
Ugh, but shooting galleries.
But I mean, they had like Pac-Man, like they had Galaga. Like, they didn't have anything that was significant.
I remember they saw that Street Fighter there.
Yeah, they did, but it's like they didn't have anything brand new.
I want to see about buying that one.
You're going to just roll up in there, just throw 200 in their face and be like, take it or leave it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, hey, well,
Scandia's not going to be here in another 5 years. Take the money.
Because I would imagine how many people are actually putting coins and tokens in there.
No.
No,
they look like, I remember there was a little kid, what is this? And he didn't know what to do.
Oh no, it's funny seeing that. Like, I'd want to see kids react to like people like arcade games. So it's kind of hard to get the camera angle for it, but that would be that would be pretty funny to see. So now we're kind of we're going to be going on to this new subject here. So to get entertained at home, we had to do video games, we had to do movies. Mm-hmm. There's one place that we had to go for both. Mm-hmm. We all know that the video rental store is keen, just very key to what we had. And I remember there was Video World Plus right by the Ralphs that's near my house. So, but the thing is like these places, I would have to. You would take a risk every weekend on a game that you don't know about because you have a pressure because you have to make sure you meet the time of your mom selecting a movie versus your time of selecting a game. And there's a lot of games.
Yes.
And you have to make sure you do the right selection. Otherwise, you're asked out because the whole weekend you're going to have a sorry game. The whole weekend.
You fucking pick up Hexen.
Oh, God. Or I remember we picked up Mischief Makers.
Oh, Mischief Makers is dope. What are you saying?
Wow, man. It wasn't good.
Mischief Makers was phenomenal.
For me at the time, I was just like, ugh, what is this?
Mischief Makers was crazy.
It was just the clown thing. That's what it was. I wasn't really fond of the clowns. The local spots were very key first, but then the local spots all got absorbed because the you can't hang with the Blockbuster. A local spot can't hang like that.
Hold a candle to Blockbuster, and its only competition. It was like McDonald's to Burger King. It was Blockbuster and Hollywood Video. That was it.
the conglomos, man.
Yeah, and they were running the show, and I was more commonly at Hollywood Video than Blockbuster.
Yeah, we probably went to the same Hollywood Video then, the one by Food for Less.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, so the Hollywood Video, if you're not fond, there's either Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, and I forget there was a couple of them on the East Coast that I don't know, but these places to us were just pivotal because Hollywood Video capitalized because they used to have 5-day rentals no matter what.
Right.
That was crazy.
That was unbelievable.
I remember with
new
releases, you'd only have 2 days, 1 day. And that was it. But the rub with Hollywood Video is that they believed mass quantities was going to take it all the way to the top. 5 days nonetheless.
Right.
That was awesome to me. For video games, 5 days.
And they were very lenient on their late fees and everything.
Yeah.
I remember The Matrix had just hit DVD and they fucking put it up for rental that fast. Like the day of release, Hollywood Video had The Matrix available for rental.
Didn't some movies... Weren't they exclusive to some video stores?
Yeah, but that developed later as, the competition grew a little more fierce.
Yeah.
But even then, it was like, I would always go to Hollywood Video before.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about, I think Blockbuster was just a little too conglomerate to me or something, but...
There wasn't a Blockbuster near me. There wasn't, there was one a town over. But the Hollywood Video, we probably went to the same one then.
Yeah, definitely.
That place was awesome to me. I remember one time I went on this whole, that's when I started my Van Damme binge. And I bought, I rented out 5 movies. I started an account that day. It was just terrible. I was like, I want these movies. Show me all the Van Damme movies. This guy he has a database to look it all up. Nah, well, I don't have that. No. He wasn't able to help me out.
Do you remember having to rush to get your shit turned in on time? Because you watch the movie the first night you get it. Why the fuck do you hold it for the additional days that you have it?
Yeah, exactly.
You would always wait till the 5th day, and it's almost midnight.
Yeah,
trying to get there as fast as you can. It's 11:58, and you throw the shit in. It didn't matter. I remember that shit, man.
Can you imagine how many videos got destroyed when people throwing them in those bins? It was a metal bin. You had to turn them in.
Slot, right?
Yeah, it's like the library. I remember the library tried to compete with videos. Speaking of that, the local libraries sometimes would try to compete with videos, and it's just no, you only have 8 videos to select,
and they're all dramas.
They're 3 days. They're all expensive. That I remember. Yeah, I do remember libraries doing that. Ugh, jeez. Dude, you see it now. Would video stores still have an impact, you think, nowadays?
It's over, dude. I was discussing with my girl earlier. I feel like a lot of physical stores are going under. Seriously, in the next couple of years, you're about to watch a lot of stores shut their doors. Because the online community is annihilating everything.
Yeah, on demand wasn't as impactful as it is now.
Right. It's taking over everything.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people are lazy, but people are we're at a point now where our attention spans are so low, we don't even feel like driving to a location to get what we need. We want it now.
That was an all-day thing, too. Going to the video store, when we used to, rent videos, you had nothing else to go on. There was no trailers on YouTube. There was no this, no that.
You just kind of went in.
You had to go off a hunch. Right. And what the critics said on the back of the VHS.
The cover.
Yes.
The cover might be simply enough to make you make that purchase.
I remember seeing Kingpin on with the VHS. I remember seeing that. There's a bunch of movies. I remember seeing, I had Babel with the one with Brad Pitt. But I didn't watch it because I was watching those other movies.
Right.
And it's man, I kind of felt suckered in because I had 5 days, but I kind of blew all those 5 days off because I'll watch it tomorrow.
And then the last day,
I have to turn it in. Yeah. But on demand didn't really take off as much as it does now because now we have Netflix.
We have everything is accessible in an instant capacity. Yeah. And even I feel like personally, I think about it from the Blockbuster's owner's perspective.
Yeah.
I got fucking defeated by a vending machine. Redbox.
Well, because they didn't want to match the low rate.
Right. It's unbelievable. Wasn't it $1 or something like that per rental?
Yeah. Now it's I think it's $1.50 or $2 now, but
that's nothing. And then, still $2 or $3 for a modern game.
Yep.
a PS3 game. And there's a trust factor here because we don't have anybody taking these discs out and doing the cleanup like you would at Hollywood Video or a Blockbuster. You know, you bring a disc back and it got bit by your dog and scratched to hell. They just put it in a machine and they fix it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But we are all trusting each other to go to this Redbox and get the movie we desire. And we don't expect another person to put a fake movie into it or something.
Like,
you know, like
how a bunch of dudes do
a burnt copy.
Or put a gift card in and take the game and never come back because the gift card isn't traceable. Yeah.
But somehow we all trust each other in some weird way to where we can keep all these items. And Redbox isn't losing out. Yeah. You think, there's a lot of scammers out in the world, but it's not enough to impact their numbers.
Yeah.
And they killed Blockbuster.
Yep.
How?
Oh, no, you know what? It's funny, because Hollywood Video went under first.
Yeah, Hollywood Video died, and I was like, oh no, where do I go? I'm not going to Blockbuster.
Yeah, that's what it was, too, because I didn't feel like I wanted to go Blockbuster either.
It wasn't, but I guess they monopolized, because, you know, there's still a bunch of local DVD shops if you drive down in Rialto.
DVD Planet. I remember going to DVD Planet in Rancho, and I was this close to buying like the unrated version of Hard Boiled.
Oh wow!
But then I was like, wait, I have this on my PS3. What am I gonna do?
What am I gonna do with it?
Like I'm gonna see 2 scenes of 2 more people getting shot or what? So but like I said, DVD Planet for your entertainment. They had those. Mm-hmm. The Virgin Megastore.
Yeah,
the Virgin Megastore was good for its sales.
It was. But and its ability, Virgin Megastore was amazing because you got to demo. Excuse me, you got to demo a CD before you bought it.
Speaking of CDs too, do you remember the Warehouse?
Yeah.
The Warehouse.
That is now, what is it, FYC or something like that?
FYE, Free Entertainment. I think that they bought them out, but I remember buying my first CDs. I remember buying the Eminem's first album. I remember buying, I think I bought Lil Wayne's first album when Cash Money was ruling the planet. And then I bought Monsters of Rap.
Oh.
On tape. Shit. Oh, man.
Tapes!
Yes, exactly. Tapes.
The inconvenience of a tape. I bought I bought Slim Shady LP and Marshall Mathers LP at the warehouse. I definitely
you had to bring your mom too for the parental. Did you get the clean version though?
Yes, I did.
Oh gosh.
I bought Busta Rhymes Extinction Level Event and I bought it edited. I bought a bunch of CDs edited and I didn't understand like where was the cussing? Did I get why are these versions wrong?
Yeah.
Like on the Slim Shady LP, there's a song about him giving mushrooms to this female and she dies.
Oh yeah.
But on the edited version, he gives her a pizza with mushrooms on it and she's allergic to it and she dies. Yeah. And I'm like, this is not the version I heard at my cousin's house. What's wrong with this?
It takes a lot more to do an edited version too. Like imagine how Eminem had to rewrite it for that.
Hi kids, do you like Primus? And like he had to change all the words up. But dude, I remember I didn't understand why these versions were wrong. Yeah. I was like, why aren't they saying... Because they didn't bleep cuss words. It just went silent for cuss words. And I was like, what's wrong with my version of these CDs? I didn't know that I didn't buy the explicit versions yet.
I remember buying the Marshall Mathers LP. I remember buying it at the indoor swap meet in Rialto. And this guy like sold CDs, and he didn't care. Like I'm a little kid, I bought the parental advisory version of the Marshall Mathers LP, and I was just like, heck yeah, man! Hey, $15 here. Don't tell anybody.
Then you listen to Kim and you start crying because he's fucking killing his wife.
My mom ended up hearing it and she got pissed. She like never gave me that CD back.
She broke it like in the.
I don't know what she did. She like took it away. She was pissed.
The warehouse, no, seriously, it was that one music store stop. Like
that's all. Yeah, that was the store you had to go to because I remember they had Warehouse Video.
Yeah,
and then they had Warehouse Music.
Yes.
Both of them were either one or the other or both combined. But
yeah. And it was in malls and it had its own stores. There was a warehouse over in Rialto by the TG's.
Yeah,
by the 99 cent store closer to Eisenhower. All these local places. I don't know if any of you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Know what
it was about. Like you said, it was right down the way.
Yeah, it was like, right around. It was pretty close.
Yeah. We used to live. We live about 2-3 blocks away from strip malls.
Yeah.
So it's not. That's what it is. It basically is. I would say that with me as a millennial, I do enjoy knowing that I was a part of this whole. Renting games at video stores. I remember renting out Mutant League Hockey at Video World Plus. Like these were pivotal events, and it's funny because it's like you won't get that again.
No,
because now with advancements in technology, on demand. You can download a game. I download games.
Right.
Like, you can download games and it's easier, but you could see you could see where technology is going, in the fact that maybe we're going to be going into a more of a, we're going to go into the digital age, but we see it now.
Yeah. And I think that's what happens for most people that were born in the millennial group. It's like we basically were born right before the dawn of technology took place.
Yes.
And we grew into it. We almost are birthed around the same time that technology started to take
off.
off.
Little after Nintendo.
Yeah.
Which was, I still personally remember playing, but.
Right. And then now we're starting to see technology moves at such a rapid pace nowadays that we're about to hit WALL-E. Like, it's about to hit, like, everything that you've seen in films, like that.
It's coming to fruition.
It's coming to fruition. Everything. So for the time that we were born, we grew in an era where you can go outside and play physically.
Yeah.
And then we can play video games but still have something physical to do later.
Yeah.
But now we've kind of transcended into this era where nobody's outside because
everyone's scared.
We don't even go to the video store because there aren't video stores. We just download on demand, like you said. Everything is digital, and I feel like we're going to hit a point where everything will be done online. I mean, based on a lot of things I've been seeing, Amazon, you can buy your groceries online, bro.
Yep.
You can just order your groceries and they come to your door. Like, we won't have to leave in a little bit. Everyone needs to be in their houses in little pods. But, no, certainly, I guess the whole purpose of this podcast, the reason we ended up doing this one is just because we were having a kind of like a homesickness of nostalgia, if that makes any sense, like missing a certain period of time. Yeah, we're getting older, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are also getting older if you're in our same age group.
Yeah.
And you're just watching the world kind of lose track of itself.
Yeah.
Because,
I'm getting called old now.
Yeah.
Not because of the gray hairs, but it's like, wow, you remember that? Wow, you're old.
Yeah, our references are old now. We are finally being outdated.
It's funny, too, because we kind of date our current age group with some stuff, but it's like, even us dating people on some simple stuff like the Rugrats.
Right. They look at us like we're crazy.
Yeah.
Dexter's Lab.
I remember all grown up. No, fool, we're talking like some real Rugrats shit here.
And I guess this day and age, it's moving much faster than anybody can anticipate.
It's accelerated, definitely.
Yeah, it's accelerating the lifespan of technology is tripled. Like, an iPhone means nothing by the next year.
Yeah, literally by the next year.
But beforehand, I guess everything was very analog. Everything was very personal. You touch things. Like, you can't take a kid to Discovery Zone today, in my opinion.
Nope.
Unless there's some digital aspect to it. You know what I mean? Like, if you have to interact with electronics in some kind of way.
I don't think that would. Unless you do, and unless the whole saying goes that everything comes back, or comes back around.
You just revert.
Well, because now I see kids with high top fades. In the movie Dope, it's like people want to do retro collecting now, but it's still.
But it's trendy, man. That's all it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's it's a cultural acceptance. So but later on, it's going to go back to something different.
Rest in peace to Blockbuster Hollywood Video, the local video spots that I know I went to a lot.
All the local theme parks.
All the local theme parks that I'm not going to go back to. You guys, I don't even like mini golf anymore, so I don't think I'm really especially going to go back. So, but let's talk about Pogs.
Yo!
I really loved Pogs. I remember getting in trouble because I bought a Pog off a guy for $20. He scammed me off an 8-ball slammer that I had to give back because... Dude, it was like one of those kids that would come to your block on a bike.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's 15. This guy he got me for a slammer, but my grandma came through and punked him to give him back the money.
At gunpoint.
Yeah, it's just like, what the hell? I don't know if every block had this punk ass kid. Where he'd come in the bike, he'd wear a beanie, and he'd have a dyno bike. No one questioned where he'd got the dyno bike at. But anyway, so let me go into this. Pogs were crazy. These things were everywhere. You had all kinds of Pogs. You had movie Pogs, Godzilla Pogs. You had I'm gonna let you know that the rarest, and I didn't tell him this before. I was gonna let him know about the rarest Pogs. The rarest Pog set is the O.J. Simpson Pog set.
What the hell? Who's looking for that?
Well, that's why they're the rare ones. It's an O.J. Simpson, because remember, the O.J. Simpson from 94. Oh, yeah, fucking Nordberg. So the OJ thing that happened in '94, like they capitalized it the next, I think, a couple months after. But you had the OJ like in his Bronco. What? You had all the lawyers. You had the judge in there. You had Cochran's Pog.
What the hell?
If you had the full sleeve,
glove on a Pog.
I don't know if you remember, but you used to buy. You can buy Pogs on the sheet.
Yeah,
and you pop them out.
Yeah.
If you still have that sheet, that's the rarest Pog set.
What? Yep. I recall being kind of the Pog master in my school, you know, and I had too many Pogs. Yeah. Like unbelievable amounts of Pogs. Bags and bags and bags. Like, you have those little tubes and capsules. Yeah. It got to the point where I didn't have any more capsules to fill, so I had to put, like, you know, Ziploc bags as large as I could. Yeah. And just had tons of them. Because I don't remember my method or anything, but all I know is my most iconic piece was, I had the slammer piece of Tommy's emblem from
the Power Rangers movie.
Yeah, the White Ranger. So I don't remember what his creature was. It was like a dragon or something, right? Like,
his was the it was kind of like the Godzilla thing that came out of the sea.
It was Godzilla. Okay, so it was Godzilla. It was the Godzilla piece, but it was Tommy's. So I had the Tommy piece. And I don't know what my method was, but I just remembered that however the Pogs were stacked, you always had to hit the very edge, the very edge. And I don't know, I guess I understood gravity at a certain level at this age, but I would always slam and perfectly get everything I needed. I'd never lost. Like, nice. I had a 99.8 like win streak.
That. I'm gonna have to call you on that.
But I just remember I always got I never lost, and if I did lose, I just double or nothing and get everything back.
I remember going at putting in a lot of tickets, and what the guys would have, like, if you turned in your tickets, you would dig into the Pog. You would dig into the Pog thing. Mm-hmm. The thing that sucked about this is, like, you couldn't pick your Pog.
No.
You had to, like, dig in randomly.
Right.
Which was kind of the rub, but I remember getting a FIFA World Cup Pog with the country of Sweden on it. I think it was either that or Finland. But it was just, like, this whole... that whole Pog thing was just crazy.
No, because it was like yoga. It had its yo-yo phase.
I was going to say yoga. I was like...
yeah, kids were doing yoga for fun in recess.
It was like yo-yos, yeah.
And I don't know how. I don't remember when the craze hit, but I just remember every kid at recess was playing Pogs. They were not on slides and swings.
Yeah.
Girls and boys, everybody were playing Pogs.
Yeah.
And there was a Pog for everything in existence.
Yes.
Coca-Cola, like they were marketing for Pogs. But I do recall, like, just countless hours lost playing Pogs for some reason. The funny thing is, I don't remember the rules at all.
I don't either. I the only thing I remember specifically from Pogs was seeing tournament videos.
Yeah.
Of, like, and then the mascot was this old, like, Neanderthal looking guy with all fur. He was there, and then I remember Bobby's World had a episode about Pogs where, like, he liked to play Pogs, and he got schooled one time. And he, like, got all his Pogs taken. And...
We got jumped by a bunch of Crips. And
yeah, when Pog got thugged. No,
Don't come out this Pogs, cuz.
He run them Pogs. Because he hit a Jamaican dude. Run them Pogs, block. No, but Bobby would school people on Pogs, and, like, he ended up getting got for his Pogs. Mm-hmm. That's the episode I remember. But like I said, that shows you that once it hits the mainstream with cartoons and stuff, like, it actually goes to anywhere. Mm-hmm. That's when you know it was super popular.
Yeah, it was a cultural impact of some kind.
These Pogs, I still see them at thrift stores, and I still see the sheets. But it's like, I don't get them because I'm like...
who's fucking... Yeah, who's down?
I don't know if I don't see a market for them, to be honest.
What are those little miniature coasters?
For your shots? For your shot glasses? That's funny. But... So, moving on from Pogs, I do remember them a lot. I used to see how they sold the tubes at comic book stores a lot. But sometimes you get them in Happy Meals.
Right, yeah.
So, Happy Meal toys have gone the wayside a lot.
Yeah, they're cutting back on kids. They don't give a shit.
I remember the toys were actually cool. Like, you would actually look forward to...
Like getting a toy from McDonald's.
Remember the Transformer Happy Meal toys?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Jeez. They used to have that. They had remember the Power Rangers movie came out, you'd collect the action figures.
When they came out, the film came out, you got like all the iconic figures.
When the Power Rangers movie came out, blew my freaking mind. I remember it was like 96.
Right. The fact that there was a Power Rangers movie.
And Tommy came out. Remember they were skydiving in the beginning?
Tommy came out of the closet?
No, he came out of the helicopter closet kind of thing that they had. I don't know that. But this guy came out of everyone else came out regular. This fool comes out in a snowboard
to do like stunts all the way down to the ground.
Oh my gosh. I was like, wow.
Because they knew Tommy was the favorite, man. Like, come on now.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's why they brought him in because remember, it's based off the cartoon series. So I guess in the cartoon series, they had a certain American bit for introducing Tommy.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like, because Power Rangers was brought from a Japanese a Japanese show.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that the scene that they brought Tommy in with was American made.
Yeah.
But it still went off of the timeline of the old Japanese show.
Yeah, and they were blending footage from all of the older... From Sentai, Super Sentai, if anybody knows
what I'm thinking is that, okay, so Jason wasn't popular enough... And so they brought in some other guy who was the Green Ranger.
They overwrote Tommy and they made Tommy more favorable. And they were like, shit, our footage doesn't match.
Because it shows that the Red Ranger's just a tag along now.
Right. Okay, all right. And then they ran out of Green Ranger footage with the Sentai show. So they had so they had to use White Ranger footage from Sentai. And they were like, how do we transition him into the other footage that we have? And that's what they had to do.
Well, then, making toys and stuff.
Exactly.
I have 2 Green Rangers still in the box, but they look all warped and shit.
The arms.
All I'm missing is Trini and Kimberly, and I'll have all the Power Rangers.
You'll have the whole set.
I'll have all those flip heads.
Sell it for $1 million.
Nah, they look like crap. Anyway, but did you see I have the White Power Ranger now?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the White Power. The White Power Ranger. Well, he's all about white power.
Oh man, there's a comma. The White Power Ranger. Wow, he's all with the Confederate flag colors.
That's his emblem, the Confederate flag, and he holds.
Southside Power Ranger.
He presses a button on his chest, and the top of his helmet.
The only one from like Alabama. The Mississippi Ranger.
He has all this prejudice against the Black Ranger.
Oh my gosh. It's just funny to realize it's just the buildings buildings in Angel Grove would be demolished, but
daily.
Yeah, exactly. Everything was all right because they would hang out at the snack bar later. I never got that.
No one's talking about the destruction of their city.
Yeah,
the loss of their.
It's like a 9/11 happened every single day in Angel Grove, yet no one gave a shit about it. Like, the
local smoothie spot is always popping.
Yeah,
no matter how many casualties.
They must have good smoothies.
You don't think like the Megazords kicked cars driving by on the freeway?
Stepped on people? Because there was buildings. There had to be people.
Explosions of the villains. Like, you don't think that was catastrophic in any way?
Probably made a classic Star Wars Nova Blast. Don't forget the Nova Blast, people. That's funny.
There's just another couple thousand dead in Angel Grove.
Another Megazord comes out of the river. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Mark and Andre podcast. Andre, my co-host, always coming in, putting in work. I want to thank you, all 19 of you guys, for tuning in, and whoever tunes in later. I do appreciate you guys tuning into this live podcast. I'd rather not be anywhere but here on a Saturday night than to doing a podcast show for you guys. Once again, this podcast is brought to you by Game Swappers. Game Swappers, buy, sell, and trade your retro video game and current gen consoles. They do ship to all 50 states, so if you need to ship items out, they do ship anywhere and everywhere in the 50 states. 909-267-4270 or on Instagram at Game Swappers. That's GAMESWAPPERS. I want to thank you guys again for tuning into the Mark and Andre show, where we tapped into nostalgia. Stay tuned next week for our new show. I don't know what the show's going to be about, but you'll wait out till next Friday or Saturday. All right, signing off, Andre. You want to say?
Oh yeah, can I do some shameless promotion?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for all those listening out there, if you guys are interested in any capacity in hip hop or learning hip hop or understanding hip hop, I've just recently, I'm now officially an online instructor. I am now certified to teach hip hop and creative writing, as well as music production and making music for hip hop. If you guys are interested, you guys can check me out at Punzi Speaks, Facebook.com/Punzi Speaks, Twitter.com/Punzi Speaks. Basically, if you type in Punzi Speaks in any capacity in Google, you're going to get my information, and you guys can check out my stuff, and I can teach you guys every element of hip hop. I've been doing this for over 12 years, and right now I currently have a free course just teaching musical structure, song structure, and how to select instrumentals and beats for your music. So if you know anything about hip hop and you're interested in learning, or if you're fascinated with the concept of hip hop and you would like to learn more, please check out my stuff. I have a lot to share with you guys. I have a lot to teach. And if you're interested down the road, I'm going to be teaching more elaborate techniques like multi-syllables, very deep, dense metaphors, and wordplay, stuff along that line. So if you guys are interested, check that out. But other than that, thanks guys for checking out the podcast, and I guess we'll see you guys later.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Take care.